Hi, and welcome to episode number 2, How to Play Your Ukulele in 10 Easy Steps. For those that don't know me, my name's Peter Moss. I've been playing the uke for over 50 years now. A little bit scary, that. And basically, I'm sharing with people some of the tips and tricks that I've picked up over that period. Now, as I say, this is number 2 in the series, and it will really help you, if you haven't done already, is to watch episode number 1. There's going to be a link to that episode up above. Right, so episode 2 is following on from that, and we're going to be looking at how we can expand on what we found out in lesson 1. So if you recall, I played 3 examples of tunes that had 3 chords in them. And those tunes were Country Roads, Heartbreak Hotel, and also Shake, Rattle and Roll. Now, typically in the key of C, those 3 chords would be C, F and G. Not necessarily in that order, but those are the 3 chords which would be used in all of these pieces. Then what we did is we looked at the circle of fifths as to how you could actually rotate the clock face, if you like, and then we could transpose the key from C to F or to G, in fact to any key that is available. Now, if you haven't done so already, there is a link in the description which will take you to some worksheets I've provided which will help you enormously through this part 2. If you haven't done it, do it now. So the next thing for me to do is to shrink down in size. I wish I could. And show you what's on my computer screen, and we'll look at the various parts of the worksheet. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. As if by magic. So today we're going to be doing some playing our ukes. Obviously we are later on, but first of all I just need to do a little bit of background theory with you, but it won't be for long. So I've got on my screen what you should have in front of you, and together we're just going to go through a couple of things. So this should look familiar from lesson 1, the circle of fifths is what we did before, and when we took those 3 chord tunes, basically we were using the C, the F and also the G. Now, so what we're going to be doing today is expanding on what we did in lesson 1. We're going to be later on playing some passing chords and then changing some of these from a simple sort of F, C and G, and maybe putting an extension on it. So I'm sure you've come across the term C and also C7 or F and F7, etc. So we're going to be playing with extensions added onto these as well. Now when it comes to the minors, where are we? So we've got like D minor here, or A minor or E minor. We're able to do an extension for that as well, like a minor 7th, E minor 7th, D minor 7th, etc. And we're going to be playing all those in our 3 pieces. So for now, we're going to talk numbers, because as I was explaining in the first episode, all music is based around numbers, and you can change keys and everything by rotating things around. Now, if you look at this clock face, if you like, because remember it's broken up into 12 equal segments, sometimes we refer to chords as numbers. So in this particular case, the key we're playing in is always at 12 o'clock. So that's why we have here the C. Now we're going to refer to that as a number for now, and we're going to call that 1. Okay, so our key, our root chord is number 1. Now the 1 to the left here is called number 4. Don't worry. The 1 to the G is number 5. Why? Okay, I hear you say, why can't it be 1, 2 and 3? There is a reason. Okay, now I'm going to show you first of all on a keyboard, and then we'll bring it into a ukulele. Just a quick cutaway from the sheet just for a second. You may be thinking, well, why don't you just count these intervals on your hands? For example, if I have here my hand here with 5 fingers, so I've got the key of C, so we'll start with C, C, D, E, F, and we can see that the F is the 4 chord, okay, because 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I want to find the G, C, D, E, F, G, and the G is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's great for intervals. However, the reason I've shown it in detail on the sheet is because they're not all major chords. So the way it actually runs, if you look at the 6, it's C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor. Okay, that's in the key of C. Now, it works the same way in all the other keys, but unless you know the majors and the minors, you could get unstuck. And that's why I did it with the worksheet. So let's go back to the worksheet right now. Now, if you notice down here, we've got a bunch of chords going from C major, working our way down, a bit of a squiggly line there, and each of these are going to be shown as to where you would actually play them on a keyboard. So for example, on a C major, we need to have things going on here, we need to have this one, and we need to have this one. So that's basically C, E, and G would give us that root chord of C major, if we're playing in C major, that is. So that's our number 1 chord. Now, when we go to sort of number 4 chord, let's have a look down on this side. So I've duplicated the same thing over this side here. Okay, and so the 1 there is our C major. The 4 chord, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. It's F major. There's the 4 chord. So our 5th chord is where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is G major. And to get those on an actual keyboard, you need to be pressing these particular notes. Now, you don't really need to know that for your ukulele, but I'm just trying to show you how it actually works. So we've got our C major, which is the 1 chord. Here we've got our F major, which is the 4 chord, and we've got G major, which is the 5 chord. So if we're playing typically our 3 tunes such as Country Roads or Heartbreak Hotel, Shake, Rattle and Roll, basically any blues piece, they are using the 1, 4, 5. That means we're using the chords of C major, the F major, and also the G major. Okay, so we've looked at the 1, 4, 5, and we know that the C is the 1, we know that the F is the 4, and excuse my squiggles, and we know that the G is the 5. Okay, however, we've got some more in this group or this family. So we've also got D minor, we've got A minor, and we've got E minor. Now all those have got numbers as well. So let's see what those numbers are. This will all make perfect sense as to why I'm showing you this in a minute. So the first one, the C major, is the 1 chord. The 4 we've said is the F major, and the 5 is the G major. However, the next one that's here, the D minor here, so basically the D minor is number 2. And the next one, the A minor is number 6. And the E minor is number 3. So basically we've got C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major and A minor. Now if you were to play these on a keyboard, these are the notes that you would need. So it's in sort of a pinky colour for the C major, a sort of very pale pink for D minor, a green for E minor and F major and so on. All you do is basically just look up to these keys and these are the ones that you would need to play on a keyboard. But we're not interested in keyboards, we're interested in ukuleles. Now to make it a little bit easier to read, I've also at the bottom of this circle of fifths done this here. So how does this here work with the circle? Well, if you have a look here, we've got in this group here in the key of C, we've got F, C and G, and we've got D minor, A minor and E minor. All right, now to just take a chunk, if you like, I've done it here. So this is exactly the same, but it's not in a circle. Well, it kind of is now. So there we go. So we've got in miniature, we've got the C is the 1, that the F is the 4, the G is the 5, and those are the others, the 2, the 6, 3. Now this works no matter what key you are in, okay? So if you look here, we've got here, if we moved to the key of F, we've still got the same numbers, because we've got here, if we have a look from left to right, we've got 415, 263. If we went to the key of F, we've still got 415, 263. If we move to the key of G, we have still got 415, 263. So the same thing works no matter what key you are in. Obviously the name of the chords has got to change, but the actual numbers of those chords remain constant. Okay, so why do we need to know this? Now I did mention to you that there are expressions in music such as the 1-4-5 blues. There's also an ending that's quite popular called a 2-5-1. There's also a very popular chord set and it's called a 1-5-6-4. Now I'm going to give you examples of those in a moment, but I just wanted to give you the little bit of background as to why they are called those numbers. I hope that's been useful. So it's ukulele time, hooray! But all will make sense as to why we did that, all about 1-4-5, as we go through this next section. Now in the previous lesson we did Country Roads, Heartbreak Hotel and Shake, Rattle and Roll. I'm just going to use 2 of those today, but I'm going to show you in 3 keys what happens when we add in some extra chords. Okay, so Country Roads to start with, we did it with 3 chords. We used our 1 chord, which was the C, if we're playing in C that is. We got our 4 chord, which was F, and we got our 5 chord, which was G. Okay, so I mentioned that we can do extensions of things. So if we wanted to have, instead of playing an F, I could actually play an F7. Gives it a little bit more meat on the bones, okay? Also, as well as that, instead of playing a G all the time, I could play a G7. So I'm going to play it straight to start with, i.e. as we did it last week with 3 chords, and we're going to build in those chords with the extensions and the 7ths, and we're also going to add in an extra chord as well. But for now, this is how it sounded. Now for copyright reasons, I can't sing these fully, so I'm just going to start off with the piece and then you can follow it, you can sing along. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Country roads, take me home. Okay, so that's a very simplified version of Country Roads. So if you have a look on your sheet, you'll see that in the key of C major, we've left the C alone. But the second chord in the sequence, instead of playing G, we're going to play a G7. Okay, the third chord in the sequence is an additional chord, which is the A minor. Now notice above the A minor, it has the number 6. So if you have a look at your circle of fifths in the key of C, the 6th chord is A minor. All makes sense, you see. Now the 4th chord in our sequence was F, but we're going to play F7 instead. Again, a little bit more meaty. And what else have we got? Basically, the others are just going to remain the same. C, G, F and C. So now it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Country roads, what a difference that makes. Okay, so now we're going to change the key. Now if you remember, we did this by rotating the circle of fifths, so we can either go clockwise or anti-clockwise. We're going to go clockwise now, and now we're going to put it in the key of F. So we're going to use the same numbers. Now have a look at the numbers in C, what we've just played. They run across, they say 1 for the C, 5 for the G7, 6 for the A minor, 4 for the F7, 1 for the C, 5 for the G, 4 for the F, and 1 for the C. Now remember, as I said to you before, the chord names have got to change, but the numbers, the sequence of the numbers remains constant. So you have a look now at the in F major. So we've got basically 1 5 6 4 1 5 4 1. If you just quickly just jump to the G major, we've got here 1 5 6 4 1 5 4 1. It's the same. So basically talking in numbers sometimes is easier than talking about the chord names themselves. But I digress. Let's go into the key of F. Our first chord with the modified chords will be playing the F to a C7, to a D minor, to a B flat 7. Bit tricky that one. And then to an F, to a C, to regular B flat, and to F. Okay, so I'm just going to play that for you. 1, 2, 3. Country roads. Okay, let's do the same thing, but in the key of G. So our first chord is G. Next chord of the sequence is D, or we could do D seventh. Then we've got E minor. Yeah, and then we've got C, and then G, then D, and C, and then G. So what does that sound like? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Country roads. So there you go. Now I mentioned to you about extensions and the fact that on the end of the major chords like the G, the C, the F, we could put a seventh on the end. There's several things we could put on the end, but for now we're just going to work with the seventh. Now in the minors I mentioned to you that there's also a derivative of that which could be a minor seventh. And just while we're in that key of G, you'll notice that the third chord in the sequence is E minor. Now instead of playing the E minor, just add a bit of spice, we're going to play E minor seventh. It's a lovely chord. Okay, so this time I'm just going to play it one more time in G, and instead of E minor, I'm going to be playing E minor seventh. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Country roads. So there you have it. So we've done it in the key of C, we've done it in the key of F, and we've done it in the key of G. So no matter which key we play in, the numbers of the chords remain constant. Okay, the 1 will always be the 1, the 4 will always be the 4, the 5 will always be the 5, but obviously the chord names have to change. So let's move on to Shake, Rattle and Roll. Now, this is a rock and roll piece, but of course rock and roll is blues with a bit of rhythm to it, or rhythm and blues even. So we got the 1, 4, 5 progression. So have a look at those chords there, and you'll notice all those numbers of 1, 4, 5 are on the top. Not necessarily in that order, but that's what the components are. So our 1, 4, 5 in the key of C major. Remember, the 1 is C. The 4 has got to be F, and the 5 has got to be G. Okay, so let me play it in a very basic format using purely major chords, and we'll then build it from there. So in the key of C, shake, rattle and roll. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. Never do nothing. So very simple. 1, 4 and 5. Now Obviously, we're going to keep 1, 4, 5. It's the chords we're going to add to them now. So we're going to introduce now something called a passing chord. So basically going from the C to the F, I could actually play this chord, which is a C7. Yeah. So I could go like this. I said shake, rattle. I said shake. I said shake. See what happened there? See where I dropped it in? So basically, do you want to do that with me? 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. That's it. So we have our passing chord there of C7. Now, as we did with the first piece, Country Roads, we added some extensions onto some of those major chords. Now in blues, this works really, really well. So instead of playing an F, I'm probably going to be playing an F7 going through here. Instead of playing a G, I'm going to do the G7. Now listen to the difference, okay? So I'm going to use the passing chord as well, but apart from the root one, the one, I'm going to play all the others as 7th chords, or dominant 7th chords to be precise. Okay, so here we go. With the extra chords, sounds like this. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. Wow, what a difference. Do you want to do that with me? Yeah. 4 in with all the extra chords. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. Great, isn't it? Okay, so that is our 1, 4, 5 in the key of C. So let's use now the 1, 4, 5 in the key of F. So this was the simple version. Going from F, our 4 chord is going to be B flat, and then C is our 5 chord. Okay, so what have we got? Same piece. 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. Okay, so now we're going to add in a passing chord to start with, like we did in the key of C, and that passing chord is going from F to F7. Okay, so that comes in here. A 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. So it kind of takes you into it, doesn't it? It takes you into that B flat. Now also, as I did in the key of C, we're going to put the extensions on, and we're going to make the other chords all 7ths, dominant 7ths. So let's see how that sounds then with all the extras in, including the passing chord. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. I said shake. Okay, if it's worked in C and F, it's also going to work in the key of G. So with G, we have, okay, so our sort of passing chord, we're going to do G7, and all the others we're going to make 7th. So our 3 chords are G, G7, C7, and then there's a D7, which is our 5 chord. Let's try it in the key of G. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. I said shake. I said shake. I said. So there you go. So that proves just by changing the extensions on some of those chords makes them sound more sort of, I don't know, more realistic, more typical of blues and jazz and rock and roll. So as a conclusion, we've learnt 2 things today. We've learnt chord names and we've learnt chord numbers, but we've also learnt the relationship between the 2 of them. Now, as you change key, obviously the chord names are going to change, but the chord numbers remain constant. Now, this is why I'm showing this to you today. So just to recap, if I said to you to play me a 1-4-5 in the key of C, you can see from what we've done today which is the 1 chord, which is the 4 chord, which is the 5 chord. Now, we've also done that in the key of F. We've also done it in the key of G. So why don't you yourselves have a look at the circle of fifths and put whatever key that you want to 12 o'clock. Yeah, so the one on the left, or 5 to 12, is going to be the 4 chord. The one at 5 past is going to be the 5 chord. So you've got your 1, 4, 5 in any key by rotating the circle of fifths. Now, next time we come together, I'm going to be doing a lot of tunes with progressions which are very popular, such as the 1-5-6-4 I keep harping on about. Okay, now you can have a go at that 1-5-6-4 yourselves before the lesson, but I'll be bringing in some tunes with that sequence. There's also an ending which is very popular called a 2-5-1. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed it today. I enjoy doing these. It would help me out if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and also hit the notification bell. And that way, as soon as I release the next one onto YouTube and Facebook, you will be notified and you'll get it first. Okay, and the great thing is it's absolutely free of charge. Until the next time, you all take care, stay safe. See you then. Ta-ra!